Hey folks, this is a rebroadcast of our Reloaded session from this past Thursday, March 31st, 2022, if I could talk clearly. All right, and I thought people might be interested in what we talked about, so I'm going to rebroadcast or re-record this and then put it on YouTube, so you'll be able to access this on YouTube. So, as you can see over my shoulder here, we're talking about acceptance, all right? And what we're going to talk about is the what, the why, and the how of acceptance, okay? So what we're really getting to is a very clear distinction of what we mean in Out of the Matrix by acceptance. So that's the what, okay? And when we're talking about the what of acceptance, we're talking about being okay with a person, place, thing, event, situation that you're in. That's acceptance, being okay with it. That's the first level, just being okay with it. Instead of needing a person, place, event, situation, thing to change for me to be happy. So in this instance, what we're talking about is I'm okay with it. Like, this person can be in my life and I can still be happy. I can be in this situation and I can still be happy. That's getting okay. That's the first level of acceptance that we're talking about today. Now, beyond that, you can get to the level of loving what is. Okay, Byron Katie's idea of loving what is. So go loving what is. Okay, and so a lot of questions come up around this word love and loving, because if I have Parkinson's, if I have cancer, if I have an alcoholic partner or brother or mother or sister, getting okay with it is one thing. To love it sounds like I'm asking for more of it. And that's not what we're talking about when we talk about getting to the level of loving a situation, person, place, thing, event in our lives. What we're talking about is the fact that fear is what created that situation in the first place. The feeling of fear, anxiety, upset, jealousy, guilt, those are the things. Remember, we say all the time, we're limitless beings. Okay, we're limitless, and so we're all powerful, and we create our lives. You'll remember that from several of our sections in Out of the Matrix. So we're creating what goes on in our life. We're attracting it to ourselves, all those kind of things. And so when we have Parkinson's, cancer, difficulty in our lives, upset in our lives, it's fear that's created that. So when we talk about loving what is, what we're talking about is using the opposite of love to let go, or I'm sorry, the opposite of fear, which is love, to let go of this situation and create something loving in our lives. That's why we want to get to a space of love. Not because we want more cancer or more Parkinson's or more alcoholics or more, difficult situations in our lives. That's not why we're loving it, because, again, sometimes we can get in this perception that by loving something, I'm saying that I want more of it. That's not what we're saying. And also, we're not really talking about getting rid of it. We're just talking about, Course in Miracles terms, alcoholism, Parkinson's, cancer, COVID, any of those kind of things that are coming up in your life are calls for love. And in Course in Miracles would say, when you hear a call for love, you extend love to that situation. And again, you're not extending love saying, I want more of it. You're extending love because it's a call for love. And it's the opposite of fear, and fear is what created the situation in the first place. So I hope that makes sense. As far as we go back to this idea of acceptance, and our first line here is what? What is acceptance? Acceptance first is getting okay with a person, place, situation, or thing, moving to the place of loving it. Okay, getting to the level of loving whatever that situation is. And again, we're using love to, let's use the word counteract fear. That's what we're doing. We're using love to counteract the fear that created the situation, person, place, thing, event in our lives in the first place. And so sometimes, again, we're not looking for necessarily the event, person, place, thing, or situation to change. Sometimes, when you do this process and you get acceptance about what's going on and you start to love it, well, think about it. When you're loving it, what's the need for it to move on or leave? You're in a state of love now. So oftentimes I've found that when I get to a really good state of acceptance around a situation, there's no need for me to have it change. I've gotten to a level of acceptance about it. Now, chances are that energetically, when I move from a state of fear around a person, place, thing, situation, circumstance, then I'm probably, when I move from fear to love around that situation, probably circumstances will change, but that's not the motivation behind it. The motivation behind it, which we'll talk about a little bit in the how, we'll talk a little bit about it in the why, okay? We'll talk a little bit about the motivation for this in the why in just a minute. But the motivation shouldn't be to change the situation. This is the motivation or purpose behind this is to get in a loving state. Okay, so that's a natural lead into the question of why. So why? So that's the what of acceptance. Now why? Why do we want to accept things? Why do we want to get into this loving state? First being okay, then getting into a loving state and acceptance around alcoholism, drug addiction, COVID-19, cancer, Parkinson's, whatever it is that's going on for you. Why would we want to get into a state of love? So a few things around that. One is it leads to a state of peace of mind, right? Peace of mind is a wonderful thing, and if you ask most people in the world, that's one of the things that they're most interested in is peace of mind, okay? And so you can get that when I'm in a state of fear, I have no peace. But when I'm in a state of okayness, I have more peace, and when I'm in a state of love, I have even more peace. So peace of mind is one purpose for this. We want peace of mind, and being fearful and upset about things does not bring us peace of mind, but acceptance, or being okayness, or being loving about a situation, person, place, thing, or event brings us to a state of peace of mind. But there's a second benefit to this, and this is the benefit that I talk about quite a bit in my book. And I know since you guys are all Quantum Matrix graduates, you've certainly read my book, but that's Living the Guided Life. And this next piece about why, you can see why right above my book there. The why is related, is talked about a lot in my book. So turns out that your inner guide, who you met on the weekend, broadcasts on the Peace, Love, and Joy, PLJ network. Okay? So your inner guide broadcasts on the Peace, Love, and Joy network. Horrible handwriting there, but you get the idea. Okay? My inner guide broadcasts on the Peace, Love, and Joy network. So when I dial my mind into love and get to a state of peace, love, and joy, I'm dialing my mind into the same network as my inner guide, and my inner guide can speak to me. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Your inner guide is speaking to you all the time. I can now hear it. Okay? It's very much like a radio station. And again, this is in my book. If you need reminders about this, I think it's chapter 2 or 3 in the book, talks about the Peace, Love, and Joy network. And it's very much like a radio station. 98.5 FM is broadcasting all the time, but I only get it when I tune my radio into 98.5. Then I can pick up 98.5 and what it's broadcasting. So your inner guide is broadcasting all the time, but I need to dial my mind into peace, love, and joy to connect with it. So this, to me, is the real purpose behind why we want to get to the level of acceptance, because then we start to get information from our spiritual reality, from our inner guide. Course in Miracles will call it your Holy Spirit. Doesn't matter what you call it, okay? And it doesn't care what you call it. It knows what it is, okay? But this is to me the primary motivation, primary why for acceptance. All right. So I hope that makes sense. And by the way, I just want to go back for a second and talk a little bit about the what some more. So the what, with respect to when you want something to change. So acceptance of something, the opposite of that is needing something to change, or some level of opposite of that. I need a person, place, thing, event, situation to change for me to be happy or have peace of mind, okay? When you do that, when you are, again, we said you're a limitless being. You're all powerful, okay? You're limitless, right? So when I'm a limitless being and I need something to change outside of me for me to be happy, I've given my power away that identifies with my limitless reality. I've given my power away to whatever it is that I need to change. So if I need the weather to be different, if I need my partner to be different, if I need something else to be different, then I'm giving my power away to that situation. Okay? So that's just a a little more reinforcement of the whole idea that we're talking about here. And by the way, a lot of this might bring up some questions for you guys, and if it does, feel free to give me a call, send me an email, join us on Thursday night Reloaded sessions. We're going to do more of these what, why, and how sessions over the next couple of weeks on different words and concepts from the weekend. Okay? Because I imagine one of the questions that could come up around that piece that I just raised about change is that, are you saying that I have to be around, if my partner is alcoholic, I should just stay with that person for the rest of my life? No. But what you can do is, so let's take that as a for instance. Let's just say, I'm telling you, you're a limitless being. You do not need your partner to change his or her behavior, stop being an alcoholic for you to be happy. You can choose to be happy. All right? And then you say, well, Chris, what are you saying? So I should just live with an alcoholic for the rest of my life? No. Get happy with it, get okay with it, get to the level of peace with it, and then you will get information from your inner guide as to what to do. From a state of peace, not a state of fear. See, normally we're in a situation with an alcoholic partner and we get into this place of fear around it and we make a decision based on fearful thinking instead of peaceful thinking and loving thinking. So this is one of the reasons we're going to get to that. And again, we're not saying that you have to stick with these situations or stay with these people. That's not the idea. The idea is to get in a loving, joyful, peaceful state of mind about it, and then tap into your inner guide and get information about how you should handle whatever it is that's going on. Hope that makes sense. And again, if you have questions or you're not sure about something, feel free to contact me. All right? As you can tell, I love to talk about this kind of stuff, and I'd be more than happy to get into it in detail with you if you need to. But again, join us on Thursday nights because that's a good place to ask questions about this kind of information. Thursday nights at 7, and I'm sending out invites usually around 5, between 3 and 5 on Thursday nights. All right. So let's get into the how. We've done the what, we've done the why, now let's do the how. How are we getting to this level of acceptance? Because this is great, this idea of getting to an okayness or a lovingness about whatever the person, place, situation is. But how do we do that? So one of the primary ways that we teach to do that, and there are other ways, but one of the primary ways that we teach is paying attention to our buttons. In other words, when our buttons get pushed, that's a good way to find out what's going on. So my button gets pushed. Remember what a button is. A button is, this is not a snowman, okay? This is conscious mind, and subconscious mind, okay? Remember, subconscious mind is 90% of our thinking. Conscious mind is 10% of our thinking. I think we're being generous with that. Again, Dr. Hugh Len would tell us that, Dr. Hugh Len of Ho'oponopono fame would tell us that it's more like, that it's more like 99% subconscious thinking and 1% conscious thinking, all right? So these false beliefs, these buttons, which are the false beliefs that you got in touch with over the weekend. So let's just pick not good enough, NGE, not good enough, which is a common one. It exists in our subconscious mind. And when it's in our subconscious mind, it tends to drive our behavior and affect our choices in our life. And again, it's subconscious, so we're not even aware that it's happening. And you can imagine if 90% of my thinking is dominated by these false beliefs that I have, that's going to lead to a lot of fear and upset in my life. Okay? So one of the hows of how we get to a level of acceptance around the world is, first of all, by getting to a level of acceptance around ourselves. And in fact, I would tell you that proportionally, if we put this on a scale from 1 to 10, self-acceptance, SA, self-acceptance, is directly proportional to world acceptance, what's happening around you, okay? So in other words, if my self-acceptance, self-acceptance being 10, I have phenomenal, I really accept myself. 1 being I'm borderline suicidal because I hate myself so much. Again, if my self-acceptance is at a 3, then my world acceptance will be at a 3 as well. So if I want to get to a place where I'm loving and okay with stuff, I have to get to a place where I'm loving and okay with myself. Okay? So that's one of the keys. And so again, we're getting into the how. How do we do that? We do that by identifying these false beliefs which exist in our subconscious mind, and we bring them up into conscious awareness. And through conscious awareness, then we can make a different choice. Again, when that belief not good enough is existing in our subconscious mind, we can't make a choice. We can't make an alternative choice to that because we're not even aware that it's happening. It's in our subconscious. When it becomes conscious, then I can say, okay, I get that I have this I'm not good enough belief, and I get that it's surfacing here in this discussion with my mother, and I can choose not to buy into that, or at least I can identify that it's happening. Because this is the first step, is identifying that it's happening. So I realize that my false belief is surfacing in this conversation with my mom, and now I can decide to make a different choice. Okay? So that's really the basics of it, in the sense that sometimes in our ego-driven world, we want more to do. Like, okay, so I get conscious of it, now what do I do with it? It really is a matter of just becoming conscious with it. When you become conscious with it, you will automatically make a different choice. Well, I guess there's a little caveat there. If you become conscious of it and then you beat yourself up for it, you may not make a better choice. So one of the other caveats to this is that you have to be sure to get in touch with it, your not good enough belief, not worthy, NW, not worthy belief, not lovable, NL, whatever the belief is, and we all have lots and lots of these beliefs, okay? So if you got in touch with a belief over the weekend and you think that's it and you're done, probably not. There's probably lots more beliefs to work on, and that's fine. Again, you got to get okay with the fact that I have these false beliefs, and when they become conscious, I don't beat myself up. Do not beat yourself up. Okay, don't do that. Don't beat yourself up. Just get in touch with it and be okay with it. Okay with the fact that I have this false belief. Okay? And then you can start to make some choices around whether you want to act out of that false belief or something else. And I don't really tell people to do too much more than pay attention to the fact that the false belief is surfacing here in this discussion with my mom, when I'm talking to the doctor about my illness, whatever it is, just get in touch with it, be okay with it, and say, oh yeah, there it is, I can see it surfacing, I'm consciously aware of that. This is one of the reasons we do in the weekend, you may recall, our How You Do It worksheet. And the How You Do It worksheet gets you in touch with all the different people, places, and things that reinforce this false belief for you. And what we're really doing with that is trying to get you into greater conscious contact with the false belief. And so that sounds a little crazy, like I really want to get in touch with the fact that I feel not good enough. Yeah, again, it's existing in your subconscious mind. It's running the show for you subconsciously. Wouldn't you want to get conscious of that so you can choose something else? That's what you want to be able to do, okay? And that's the how. So let's go back here. I'm going to erase some things, go back and just do a quick review, okay? Well, I got rid of my how. I got to put my how back up there. All right. These are all questions, right? What, why, and how. What, why. So again, the what is acceptance? It's first of all getting okay with person, place, or thing, situation, and then loving it. Okay? And then Bruce would even say, getting to the point of choosing it, recognizing that I chose this. So that's an even further step, that I chose this, and the empowering part of recognizing that you chose it tells you you can choose something else. Okay, so in other words, you are a limitless being, okay, and you chose to have some level of dis-ease in your life. You made that choice. And if you're a limitless being, you had to have made that choice. You're limitless. You made the choices for what shows up in your life. And so, by recognizing that you chose it, you're acknowledging your limitless reality, okay? And so it goes back to this idea I talked about earlier. When I'm blaming or needing something outside of me to change, I'm denying my limitless reality, okay? So getting okay with, so the what of acceptance is getting okay with things, loving things, and then recognizing that I chose these things, okay? And then that acknowledges that I can make a different choice. Going through that personally with some health issues for myself and recognizing, you know what, I made these choices so I can make a different choice. I chose to have this in my life, I can make a different choice. That's empowering, that's relieving, that lightens everything. talk about enlightenment. That lightens everything for me. All right. So then we go to the why. Why? Because it leads to peace of mind. P of M. It leads to peace of mind. We all want peace of mind. That in and of itself is a phenomenal goal. Just because I want peace of mind is a phenomenal reason to do this process. Okay? Why? Because I want peace of mind. The added benefit is it connects me with my inner guide. It gets me on the Peace, Love, and Joy network, which is the network on which my inner guide is broadcasting. Okay? And then the how that we teach in Out of the Matrix, again, is my snowman, conscious, subconscious, get in touch with those false beliefs, not worthy, not good enough, NGE, not good enough, pardon my scribbles, okay? And again, we get in touch with those false beliefs by doing worksheet. Well, first of all, when our buttons get pushed, anytime you're upset, anytime, and this is key, anytime you're upset, you're operating from one of these false beliefs. And anything that tells you that you're not this is a false belief. Do you hear that? So anything that does not tell you that you're this is a false belief. And the only thing here that will connect with this is love. So you have to love yourself. And the more you love yourself, the more in touch you are with your limitless reality, your limitless being. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. And if you need, again, I can't say it enough. If you have questions or comments or concerns, email me, call me, 440-343-4916 if you need to. My number down there, 440-343-4916. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me at chris@outofthematrix.org. Hopefully if you're getting this, the link to this, you probably have my email already. But again, back to our how, we get in touch with the false beliefs, we bring them up into conscious awareness, and then we release them. Okay, and this is a ongoing process in the sense that it's not a one-hit wonder. It's not a one-hit wonder. You don't go to the weekend, do Out of the Matrix, get in touch with your false belief, and then it's gone. You've lived that false belief for years and years and years as a child and as an adult, and so it's not going to go away overnight. Probably, I'm open to the idea that people can have miraculous experiences and it can be eliminated really quickly, but probably not. Probably it's going to take some time and what seems to be some effort. Okay. So again, I hope that all makes sense. That quick review of what we talked about earlier. If you have questions, let me know. We're going to do more what, why, and how questions over the next couple of weeks. If you're interested in it, we're doing again Thursday nights at 7 o'clock over Zoom. I send out the link. If you're not getting the link, send me a text. Although again, if you're getting this email, you should be getting the link. Thanks, everybody. I love you all. Have a great day.